Welcome to Fierce Encouragement. This is the podcast where we tackle life's struggles with boldness, wisdom, and some practical tools. Now, my name is Mark Walker. I'm a life coach. I'm a meditation instructor. I'm also your guide to navigating the messy middle between where you are and where you want to be. So here at Fierce Encouragement, we blend modern science and timeless wisdom to help you master your own mindset, to cultivate that inner balance in your life, and also to take those courageous steps towards your goals and projects. So whether you're a leader, a new leader, maybe a learner, or just somebody who's ready for some change, well, this is your space for some real talk and some powerful insights and some fierce encouragement to help you live with purpose and confidence. Thanks for being here. Hey, thanks again for joining me here on Fierce Encouragement. Always appreciate you sharing your time. I hope you get something out of this and reach out. Let me know how this lands. But today I wanted to talk about something that I hear every week when I connect with other people that are interested in a conversation about transformation, showing up as their best self more often. And something, and I try to have a few of these conversations every week for all the coaches out there that listen to me, or the people that aspire to have their own business and reaching out and creating conversations. Just forcing yourself to have those few conversations every week, schedule those few conversations. And it's difficult to step into them, especially in the remote world where we're connecting on Zoom or phone calls more often, and it feels kind of disembodying. No, that's the way we all feel. You get better at it, just like you build up a muscle in the gymnasium or going to work out. You get better at it just as you would, stepping towards bigger, more impactful conversations in people's lives. And I guess that's what this episode is about. I've kind of framed up this question that I hear. So if I ask people what's holding them back, one thing that they'll often tell me is like, why would I pay for life coaching? Isn't it just talking and a conversation? So we kind of have this mindset that life coaching is nothing more than just talking. Well, it is. It is about connecting and having that rapport, that connection with people, listening. But it's also past that. I just want to acknowledge that objection and create a conversation around that. And hopefully it helps you learn, if you are a coach or if you're a manager or somebody trying to get a tool or kind of a method out of this that you can work on, is just acknowledging that it's difficult to have conversations sometimes, and people push back and just wonder. They kind of frame it up in their own way and they're looking at it with their own thinking. So it's inviting them to just see how conversations could be transformative instead of something where you're just exchanging information. One anecdote or one story from that I hear all the time and that I have seen in myself is that we look outward for help and support, and we love our spouses and partners and friends, often in their own story, and they don't do it intentionally, but we don't get that high quality, no bullcrap feedback from our spouses or our partners sometimes. And sometimes it comes preloaded with their stuff that they need to work on as well or get more skilled with. And obviously we have our own unskilled habits that we're still working on as coaches. And if you're a coach out there who thinks they don't have any things they can get better at, I would love to talk to you. Reach out, because I want to know the secret. I think we all have things we can get better at and transform in our lives. So it's to invite ourselves to a larger conversation. It isn't just a conversation. It's a transformative conversation focused on the support you need past somebody who might be a partner or spouse or even a work relationship. We might think that we're getting high quality feedback on our personal consciousness quality from our work. And I would love to have a conversation with you if you think that's true. I'm sincere. I want to know the secret. Reach out to me in the show notes. The core message here is that life coaching goes way beyond regular day-to-day conversation. It's about structure. It's about creating structure for some guidance and the things that you want to step towards, the things you want accountability on to get better in areas of your life. And we can get focused on productivity. We can go deep on productivity and getting things done. That's truly what people want to feel and want to hear. But as I've heard recently, just this past week from a client of mine who I've been working with a while, it isn't always about the specific productivity habits you're going after. You start to notice the bleed through into other areas of your life. As you start to improve one area of your mind and some accountability, you notice how other areas of your life start to clean up. And while we might have that perfectionist attitude, we might want to be perfect, always pushing ourselves, I would just invite us to look where we're at and how we are being productive just by having that accountability in our life. And it can be a coach, it can be an athletic coach, it can be a great spouse that's willing to go there and also, be supportive in other ways. But finding a partner, find somebody you can talk to and create this manifestation of conversation and transformation, as I guess is like a message that comes up for me. Having the tools to show up when you think you need to grow a little bit personally. So I believe that's the core message. And as I continue on here, I wanted to think about the insights that we can take away from professional guidance or certified guidance. It is important to find the right teacher or the right helper or the right guide. It's important to find somebody that's good for you to help break through those blockers, those barriers you might have in your mind, and especially in like your habit patterns. I think kind of throwing a spotlight on it and seeing how coaching can help provide that external perspective and even that validation and that accountability towards being more happy, right? Like working on the self, celebrating more, having that self-reflection, knowing you're not alone, and that there's something you can achieve. There's something you can achieve that's worth it. Loving the Buddhist teachings and have spent a lot of time in them, reading things. There's some sutras from the canon where the Buddha spoke, or it was captured speaking by some of his mendicants, people that were following him and his teachings at that time. But one quote that they've written down and is a test to be from the Buddha, which is just beautiful. Just as the goldsmith tests gold by burning, cutting, and rubbing it, so too should you examine my words and accept them only after scrutiny, not out of reverence for me. And that's from the Kamala Sutta in the Pali Canon. The Buddha advises here, not just to take the teachings blindly, not to have a blind, untested faith, but to look at them and to kind of rub them and reason with them and see the results and the impact they have on our lives. So when we have these transformative conversations, let's remember that. We need to test them out and see if the results we're getting back, see if the tools and techniques that are being shared help us take progress or make progress. And ultimately, it does fall on the client's shoulders to do the hard work. We need to test those things. We need to cut them and rub them, as the quote says, and see if they stand up to what we need. Things that will help us are the most important things that we need to pay attention to when we start doing this work, especially going into conversations with coaches. Make sure you're keeping, an eye on yourself and taking good notes. Taking good notes or having some way to reference the conversation. You can get double out of a conversation when you listen back to it again, if not more. To kind of think past that and move on to some more specific techniques or things that we want to exercise and put into our coaching practice as a coach, and even as somebody who's interested in practicing these coaching techniques and putting them into play without needing to hire a coach right now, or maybe you can't afford it. Well, this is one thing that I work on with my clients, and I've done it in groups, in corporate settings, and even one-on-one quite often. But we need to get good at visualization and seeing ourselves in that moment where we want to, even if it's just going back to a state of neutrality, but using like that visualization of ourselves and seeing ourselves as healing and becoming more complete, visualizing it and asking ourselves what we need in that moment is a really powerful technique. So a guided visualization or goal setting exercise is really going to help us in our coaching. That is something that I tap into as a coach, and you can tap into that yourself. Break out a pencil and a paper and give yourself a quiet 5 minutes and ask yourself one important question. Maybe where the fear is coming from. Maybe asking yourself where you're scared in your life right now. Maybe asking what addictive mindset might be dominating you and kind of holding you down. Getting really self-compassionate, knowing that everybody's truly suffering in some way. You're not alone. Sit down and give yourself that gift of a few minutes with a pen and paper. Using that goal-setting exercise, visualizing yourself, what does it look like for you to be more happy in 6 months, a year? I think the tailored strategies that we can do in coaching and the feedback loop that we get in a coaching connection and a coaching conversation goes way beyond just a normal conversation. So I challenge that objection at the beginning. Well, isn't it just another conversation? Yes, and heck no. So to conclude here and to kind of emphasize what it means to invest in yourself in coaching and have that personal, impactful, professional growth opportunity, reframe it. If you want help, reframe it in your mind to help you go into a coaching conversation to have more impact on yourself by asking yourself, how is it going to help me go forward towards that best version of myself? How can I test it? Again, when you are getting coached, bring your best self there. See about the results that you get with that coach. Test it every few weeks. Don't sign up for long packages with people the first time. Ask them if you can have the experience of their coaching before they want that investment. I think it's important to see if there's that rapport there. And with that, if this inspires you and if you're looking to work with a coach one-on-one, I do have an application link in the show notes. Fill that out. Let me know the answers to the question, and I'll read each one personally and reach out if I feel that you and I might be a match to work together. I do appreciate you listening to Fierce Encouragement. It's been a joy just to talk about this and look at what conversations can do. I've felt transferred of conversations the last 5+ years of my life, obviously going back into my corporate career, working in IT, but learning how to take on that coach modality and invest in oneself and kind of be honest with oneself and truly grow, I think it's exciting. We can use things like reflective listening, really deeply active listening to help pull out those deeper issues that might be in us. In a coaching relationship, that's so fun and it's so key to each one of us, our development. It requires trust and help and a good connection, a good rapport. And then we can also move towards goal-setting frameworks or targets or just projects, redefining what success means to us and setting up some targets we can go after or setting up some projects that we can work on. It is so helpful to our mental health and contributing in our time here. And I appreciate you listening back in. So yeah, reach out. It's always good to talk. I hope you enjoyed this conversation about starting a conversation with a coach. It isn't just a conversation. This is a great topic. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. And again, thank you for your time. I'll let you go wherever you're at. Have a good day, good evening, and we'll see you next time on Fierce Encouragement. Bye-bye.